Well, good afternoon, welcome to Chasing Chunks TV. We are once again down on the town lake. We're down for just over 24 hours, and to be fair, I wasn't planning on coming down here. I was planning on going to the bowl syndicate, finish off bowling for Carp 19, but the fish had different ideas and they started to spawn. So with that, I don't fish for spawning fish. I've decided just to drop on here for the next 24 hours, maybe 36 hours, and do tonight and probably stop for most of the day tomorrow. Lake is pretty busy. There's a guy down to the left hand side, there's about 3 or 4 bivvies down to the right, and all over on the road bank is literally full. To be fair, I was pleasantly surprised that this swim was free, because if you didn't see my previous video from down here, which was probably about 3 weeks ago, then I was fishing just next door. I had a couple of fish on a very quick trip down here. We didn't even manage the day, and we packed up just before it started to rain, and we probably had about 8 hours down here before we packed up and went back off home. And it was just crazy the amount of fish that was out in front of here. And to be fair, every time I come down here, they're outside, and they're definitely out on this swim. So rods have gone out, 2 rods, totally baited area, spot over the top, and we'll leave them now unless they go off or till tonight. And because obviously every time you come down here you learn something, crays are a problem on here. So what I will do is, right at the last minute, I'm going to bring these rods in, put fresh pop-ups on, bang them back out on the spots, put a bit of bait out, and first light in the morning I will duplicate that, and obviously hopefully the crays will stop off me and they'll stop from whittling my baits down as much as they would do if I left them out all night and sat on the rods the next day. When I was here last time, the first trip, then I was just boshing over it all morning. I was thinking, why haven't I had a bite here? And the reason was because there was no bloody pop-ups on, because they'd literally snared all the pop-ups. Oh, money spider, that is the one. Basically, they'd had all my pop-ups off, or whittled them down, and obviously I was sitting over rods that wasn't fishing. So yeah, that won't happen again. So with that money spider in hand, and with a little bit of tiny luck, then hopefully we'll get into a few. Third rod's not gone out yet. Might just launch it out where we've seen a lot of them fish last time, basically out into no man's land where the majority of the people can't cast. Luckily enough, I can. So that's what I'll do later, is just put a single out there. Whether it's a solid bag, I don't know, or whether I'm just going to put a single pop-up out. I'll make that choice a little bit later, but sitting on 2 rods on the baited area, we are fishing. Enjoy, and hopefully we'll be back with you a bit later with a fish. Well, you join me at 9:30, and we are just starting to lose the light, and I'm having the only brew of today, basically because it's been so warm that I've been drinking pop for most of the day, and it's not been the one getting the kettle on to have a hot cup of tea when it's boiling. As I'm standing here talking to you now, I'm starting to see a few rain clouds forming in the distance, so I'm expecting that we'll have some rain predicted in the next couple of hours. I'm saying that because where I'm looking, the wind is starting to push down vertically over towards the woods over there. I don't know whether it's a south-southwesterly. I'm not too sure of the wind direction at the moment because I've not looked. But it was pushing into us earlier. It's pushed down to this corner, and it's now starting to swing round over onto the woods. Whether that's going to make any difference to the carp fishing, I do not know. But any difference in weather conditions are welcome, because it has been pretty slow. Every time I've come down here, I've always seen fish smashing out in this area and around the lake, and from about 12 o'clock I've seen my last fish earlier on today, and I've not seen a fish since then. So we could be struggling on this trip out, whether it's to do with the dredge that they're digging up down there, whether it's producing fish or the digging up the bloodworms, I don't know. I would, to be fair, like to put a rod down there, but obviously when they start to move around in the morning, get the dredge back out, then your session's gone. So I'm quite happy where I am. I'm quite happy with my spots, because last time I was here I learnt a lesson with the crays that I didn't know was in here. So what I'll do is get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, first light, bring these rods in, put fresh baits on if they need them, and I will top up the swim for the morning session. Usually you wouldn't do such a thing, would you, because obviously bite time is in the morning, but with these crays, last time I come, all my hook baits and pop-ups were whittled down, and some didn't even have a pop-up on. So yeah, that's why I'm going to bring them in, make sure they're fishing. Fish showing over me, I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm going to get a bite in a minute, but it never happened, and that's why, because we had a cray problem. I even brought in the biggest cray that you've ever seen, and if you've not seen that video, at the end of this video, then I'll put a thumbnail to that video to go and watch down here on my first session. I'm also, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to do a video on bankside etiquette, because there's still lots of anglers, and you know, I don't blame them, because you know, nobody really talks about it as in regards to things you should do and things you shouldn't do on the bank. First one is playing around with your bite alarms, and yeah, it's an absolute irritation beyond belief, because there's a couple of anglers just on the other bank, beep 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 for the past couple of hours, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. So yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, and hopefully people will get something from it. So I'm getting bit, and the mozzies are starting to come out to play, and I'm sure I'll look like a lovely steak fillet to them. So I'm going to settle in the bag and cover up, and I'll catch you during the night or in the morning. See you later. Bye-bye. Well, good morning. 4:30 in the morning. We're up, out and chasing, and the rods, well, one of the rods has been brought in and cast back out. No sign of cray damage at all on the pop-up, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I decided because of that not to touch the right hand rod, and we'll see how that comes in a little bit later. Seen a lot of fish this morning on the back of the wind over towards the woods over there, and yeah, just on that wind line is where I keep seeing them nut out, and unfortunately nothing over towards my baited area. Not seen any fish or heard anything during the night. Not heard any alarms rattling off. So it has been pretty slow on air, to be honest. And I'll make an assessment a little bit later on what I'm going to do as in regards to going home. May drop the session off early because there's no point just sitting there waiting it out, waiting for these fish to get on the feed, because it could be frigging days, and I ain't got that, and I'd rather put my time in, get my stuff ready to go off and do another water in the next couple of days. Well, we've got a little bit of fizzing over my area now. A couple of fish have moved in and around where my baited spot is. It's just a case of if they're going to feed and whether we're going to get a take. Not too sure whether that's a take, but I've just had a current on that middle rod, as you can see. Just pulled up tight, just dropping back. Oh, that could be a fish. Yeah, that's a fish. Or is it a liner? Yeah, it's a fish. That's got to be a fish. What's going on here then? Kiting just down to the right. I'm not too sure what's going on here. I think I've got somebody else's rig. Have I? Well, it is mine. It's just kited round just on a tight line, to be fair. That's it. Starting to get a little bit in contact with it now. Pretty fully tight that was. He's in a big fish, he's literally flying. Look at it go. got? Very, very fast. Common. It's not a big fish at all either. Nice clean fish though. Oh, right, 24 hours in, or near enough, and we finally managed to bag one. Nice fish. I'd say around about 16-17 pounds this one, at a guess. But to be fair, I ain't bothered about weights. It's all about getting out, catching fish and enjoying my time on the bank. So I'm going to put this one back, get that rod back out, get a little bit of bait over the top, and hopefully we'll get another one for this morning spell. Well, it's 8 o'clock, just under 24 hours in, and we have finally managed to bag one. Very welcome indeed, and I've got to be honest, I didn't think it was going to happen, but when I started to see these fish move out into the open water, started to see them there, then I think it was just a matter of time before I got a pick up. Fish have been down to the left hand side for most of the morning, but as this wind started to pick up, then they're definitely starting to move out around the buoy opposite where I've just put a rod, and out into where basically my baited area is. The rod that went was the one on the left hand side, so that's a good indication that they're starting to push over and starting to push down to the right hand side, and I think I've intercepted that fish as it's been pushing through down to my right hand side. You just see me put that solid bag out over towards the buoy where I've seen a few fish, and apart from that I don't think any other fish have been out. Saying that, the lad on the opposite bank has just had a rip roaring take, and he's eating into it, played it for a bit, and there's a fish. I knew there was another one in it. Coming in like a bream, this one. Look at these idiots. Fools. knew it was going to go. With the amount of activity, the fish topping over the top of the spot, then it was just a case of when, not if. Right, let's send her on away. So this is the mix that we're putting out. Basically hemp, couple of tigers and maxi nut boilies. And for the middle rod, which we've got a yellow pop up on, I'm just putting a couple of handfuls of corn inside the actual spod just to give it a little bit of colour. Well, that's 2 spods over the left and right rod, so I'm quite happy with that. Middle rod hasn't done me a fish as yet, or I haven't had one take off over the baited area, so I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to put any bait over it because I put some over it this morning. Here we go. That one. Well guys, it's just gone 11:30, the rods are in, the barrow's packed and it's time to get back off home. Hope you've enjoyed this short video, nothing serious, just about me coming out, doing a little bit of fishing, bringing the camera with me, and hopefully you enjoy them. I would greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel, just in that corner, that Chasing Chunks icon. Click on that, and just underneath this video to the right next to my name is a bell icon. click on that and never miss another video like this again. So it's a bish bash bosh, keep it tosh, wet nets, tight lines. See you on my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.